Hello, everybody. Welcome to the United Stand. Welcome to your Thursday night therapy session. I'm building up to an international weekend, and it has been a very eerily quiet week around Old Trafford. Everyone's keeping everything to their chest. Maybe that's because we are trying to leverage Brendan Rodgers out of Leicester without it costing the Glazers too much money. I don't know. We'll see. We're going to talk about that tonight. We're going to talk about why Brendan Rodgers is a fit for United, and obviously some people don't think he quite is. So we'll talk about that as well. And then everything else that's gone on this week and looking ahead slightly to, well, not a lot of internationals because it's like half our squad has just dropped out completely. We are suffering right now. But it's a full crew again tonight, guys. First of all, let's get through the panel here. Kev, first one up right next to me there, mate. How's your week been, mate? No United, no stress. Good week.
Yes, I think I said after the Manchester derby that I don't usually like international weekend or international football, as I call it. I'm not into it. I don't dig it. But for once in my life, I'm quite happy at the break. But there's no let up, is there? Because there's obviously talk of new manager and all that. So we will have to see how it pans out. So I'll be obviously keeping an eye on that.
Yes. Jordan. Busy with work, mate, but obviously being able to concentrate on that because we've not had anything else getting in the way, i.e. United this week. How's it been for you, mate?
Yeah, do you know, I agree with Kev. I normally can't stand the international break, but that pressure cooker that we were under, it's been nice to sort of just take a couple of days back and just be able to breathe, although this madness of looking for a manager and not looking for a manager has been going on. It's been nice just to have that little bit of breathing and get to see you guys on a Thursday. Yeah, good. I'm happy.
That's it, mate. That's it. We all need each other right now. Jay, how's the gym been, mate? Busy week this week?
Well, up to last Tuesday, I was in deep prep for international bodybuilding show, which has been cancelled. So kind of a bit of a loose end. You know, you're dieting, you're prepping, and it's gone. And I was only 3 weeks away. So I don't know what to do with myself right now. There was one day that I ate like 6,000 calories just at a pure, oh shit, what's the point in dieting? But now I'm back on track. At least I don't have United this week adding to my stress levels. Finally, I can come on a show and we're all relaxed and we can have some interaction and not have to analyze another Turgid performance. So it's going to be nice to come on a show and not have to analyze an actual game for once. So I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I promise you we won't mention Ronaldo and Portugal playing Ireland, mate, one bit. Okay, moving on. Beth, welcome to the show again. I mean, we spoke after the City game. We spoke on Sunday after the City game. How's your week been? Has it sort of died off a little bit for you, or is it still lingering there? Is the anger still there, Beth?
Do you know what? It's one of them where it's just got that bad now, is where when it happens, like, you shouldn't accept it, and obviously it upsets me, but it just is what it is now. I don't expect, like, it's been going on for that long that I just don't expect anything to change now. And it is sad. It is what it is. And usually I hate international breaks and I can't wait for them to be over. But I can't be bothered going back to a league where it's a really exciting league at the top and then we're fighting for mid-table. It's just, it's football's a little bit depressing at the minute, not going to lie, especially if you're a United fan. But international week, you get a week off of thinking about it. I mean, unless it's us tonight on the Thursday night show, you know.
I mean, we'll get into it now. I mean, it has been one of them weeks. It's been, I mean, I remember sitting on this very show with Jordan and we were talking, Jordan, about the PR machine going into overdrive after the Liverpool defeat. And then this week, slightly different, mate. It's sort of like, let's get everyone out of the way so no one can say anything. It's been very, very quiet this week. But obviously, we've got rumours, and I think rumours underneath the surface sort of building up regarding certain managers. They all seem to have just moved away. And it does seem like there's one front runner at the moment, if any. And that is Brendan Rodgers, Jordan, mate. I mean, kick us off, mate. Rodgers, for you, is it a case of, and we spoke off air, is it a case of we're just trying to get whoever is available right now because we can't go through the rest of the season with Ollie in charge, so someone has to come in and it looks a little bit desperate? Or is Rodgers a right move? Would you take Rodgers in at United? Is he the right man to take us to that next level? Because let's be honest, we don't want a quick fix here. We want someone who is going to help us compete. Is he the man for you?
Yeah, I put a tweet out last night saying, I was sat there thinking about it, saying, do you know what? I would take Rodgers. He's not my first choice, but he would have been in my top 3 or 4 options. I think we say about getting someone who's available, but given the circumstances of him being in Leicester, being in a contract, happy, he's won silverware recently. He's, project, he's only been there. I think this is his 2nd full season. He's got to his 3rd full season, if that's right. He's not available. We're actually trying to go and get him. So the board are looking at this person as the person they want to get. So there's definitely, a lot of talk. They say there's no smoke without fire. We are trying to get him out of his contract. They're not making that noise about anybody else. It all seems to be about Brendan. And I've sat and thought about it, and I think the only negative is the fact that he's managed Liverpool. But when I look at when I think of Brendan, I don't know if it's because me being Welsh, I don't think of the Liverpool connection when I think of him. I know he managed Liverpool, but for me, I look at the job he did at Swansea. He was the first manager to get a Welsh team promoted to the Premier League. The cup killing runs he went on with that Swansea side, the football they then played in the Premier League, that team has never been the same since he left and then moved on. And then I look at Celtic. He went there. Remember, he was the manager that did the whole invincible thing and matched that Arsenal thing, and they never got they didn't lose in his first season there. He's then obviously gone on and done the treble thing up there. And again, I look at that Celtic side. That Celtic side hasn't been the same since he's left. You look at the football that he plays with Leicester. It is very much attacking football, very creative. He buys well. He sells well. He does develop youth. I've seen some of the players that he bought and sold at Swansea, and they went on to do great things. I know players that played for him at Swansea, and the way they talk about him, he definitely has that mean streak that I feel like we're missing on the touchline. I think other managers will respect him. I think he would have learned from the whole Liverpool experience. We as fans have been taught about this thing under Ollie about fine margins. There's no finer margin than Gerrard's slip, is there really? So, we talk about him not winning the big trophies. He has won silverware. He's won FA Cup. He's won trebles up in the SPL. I'm not rating the SPL. Beth, you could do the treble up in the SPL. But I just feel like he's got that experience. He's got that experience of fighting, turning the tide, and winning stuff there. If it's a shootout between Ollie or Brendan, Ollie couldn't lace Brendan's boots. So I don't really feel like there's a million options out there. We definitely seem to be putting all our eggs in the basket of going for Brendan. And if we could get him out of the contract mid-season, then yeah, at this moment in time, I would definitely take him. However, saying that, I was sold on the Zidane dream. I was sold on the Conte dream in the end. The desperation has took me to a point where I'm willing to take almost anybody. So
you take me, Jordan.
Yeah.
I probably would take you. I probably would. But yeah, I listened to Mark show the other week, and he sold me the Zidane dream. I finished watching. I was like, right, Zidane's the guy. And then I have a look into the whole Brendan thing, and I speak to players who play for Brendan and whatnot. And then I'm like, do you know what? It's Brendan. He's that guy. I might have a conversation with Jay in 20 minutes and be like, do you know what? Jay's the guy. So yeah, at this moment in time, I would take him.
Yeah, just on Yusuf's super chat there. Would you give Ollie another chance till someone of the board helps him change the tactical staff as Sir Alex Ferguson changed his coaches regularly? No, is the answer to that for me. I won't give him another chance. I think his time is up. And he's had chances, mate. That's the thing. Ollie can pick and choose who and what coaches come in, and he's gone with the same ones for 3 years. So, no, if someone needs to tell your manager that you need to change coaches, then the manager isn't good enough, in my opinion. But on that, I mean, Jay, I'll come to you next on this, mate. Rodgers, Jordan mentioned there about Celtic, about winning the treble, having a great record up there in Scotland, the FA Cup. Is that middle ground style or sort of management for you? Should we be aiming higher? But does that ultimately bring up the problem that Jordan mentioned then? There literally is no one else, mate.
I take on board everything that Jordan said. It's a good analysis. However, it's the case now as a fan base, we become so desperate. We take Buck Rodgers to take over from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's how bad we are. I get the feeling that it's a case with Brendan Rodgers. Is he another man before the man? Like, he laid the groundwork for Klopp. Liverpool, as what we know very well, were 5 points clear with 3 games to go. We know what happened with Mr. Gerrard slipping. The following season, Liverpool finished 7th. Rodgers went 3 years at Liverpool. He was the first manager in Liverpool history in 50 years that had 3 seasons, didn't win a trophy. He has bottled 4th place twice with Leicester. Last season, lads, remember, they had 4th place sewn up, pretty much. They won the FA Cup, and the team literally spent the time after the FA Cup on the lash and then bottled top 4. So he's bottled top 4 twice for me. He's bottled a Premiership title. He's won a pub league in Scotland. So what? As Jordan pointed out, Beth, you could manage Celtic win a pub league back then. Rangers won it. Rangers. Well, I think Jordan is basing your football management skills on how bad you're doing in the Fantasy Premiership League. That's probably based off that. Let's be fair.
You beat me to it.
Yeah. That was a low blow, as Kevin Nash would say.
Everyone just needed clarity on that. There, it is also
the league is private for a reason.
It's because Beth was giving it the big in for a league start that she was going to reign supreme, but unfortunately, it's double J time. Anyway, back to Rodgers. Standards, I think, guys, at the moment are at a low ebb, and as a fan base, I think a lot of fans are prepared to accept literally anybody that's on offer. The very fact that Solskjaer has been sent or gone on holidays to Norway for a week, it's unheard of. International break. Your team is in the doldrums. It's been proven that you're tactically inept. You've got 10 days now to work with your players before a must-win game and before a must-win Champions League game. And you're sent on holidays by the club. I tweeted out last week, that move is akin to a parent telling their child that their doggy, their little puppy, has gone to live with the farmer in the countryside. Solskjaer is unquestionably a dead man walking. There's no question about it. For me, he should have gone after Europa League debacle last May, and I've got on record saying that. We missed out on Conte. I don't think we'll get Ten Hag, and we can discuss that as well. Radnick, for me, he's my choice, but as we know, he's going to want to come in. He's going to want to make a root and branch change in the structure of that club. The Glazers and the board don't want that. So I don't want to be here, guys, in 2 years' time, and I'm just saying we hire Rodgers, and yeah, he'll get us top 4. I've got no doubt. But just asking the free chat there, how many of you feel Rodgers is signed? Is Rodgers the man that in 2 years' time we're challenging for a Premiership title and we're challenging for a Champions League title? I don't think he's the man to do that. It's a case of another manager to come in and stay the ship.
Are we
guys,
that's
not enough for me.
Sorry, I'll cut you in there, Jay, mate.
It's okay,
We're
man.
in a place now where we're looking at the blueprint that's been set by other clubs, like a Chelsea, where a manager comes in for a couple of years, wins trophies, win multiple trophies, and the big ones as well, Beth. I mean, should we be looking past the glory days of, a manager being in a club, say, 5 to 10 years? I think, obviously, Pep's probably one of the longest serving right now at the highest level. He's looking to leave in around about his 6th year. I mean, should we be looking at a 2-year sort of fix now with managers? Should it be that way? And then see where they are at the end of that 2 years, like a Chelsea, a more of a cutthroat sort of nature to our management setup?
Is this question for me?
Yes, sir, Beth. Go on.
For me, I'm not bothered how long the person's here for. If you're good at the job, then you stay in the job. If you're doing well and you're looking like you're going to win trophies or you're winning trophies, then you stay in the job. If you're not, then you go. And that's as simple as for me. For me, we give Ollie more than the normal amount of time that a normal manager would get, purely because of what he's done for the club. That time now for me, it's run out. After me, during the season, that's when I started to become like, we need a new manager. And then after the Liverpool game, that was it for me. I think I actually feel sorry for him, because I think it's inevitable now that he's going to leave and that he's going to get sacked, but it's just when it's going to happen. So whether he just carries on in the job as a dead man walking till the end of the season, whether he goes now, I do think his time's up. But I do agree with you that the only managers that stay in a job for a longevity of time is the elite managers. And there's only certain few in the world in that sense. Pep, Klopp being one of them. I think Tuchel will probably spend quite a while at Chelsea if he keeps on doing well. But I tell you what, if Tuchel kind of dropped off a bit, Chelsea would not be scared to sack him. They wouldn't be scared to make that move, because as soon as you start losing the players, as soon as you start losing that momentum, in modern day football, I don't think there's much coming back from it. I mean, we've seen it in the past that you can go for a bad spell and come back. It's very, very hard nowadays in modern day football when you've got the elite managers and the elite teams and players with big egos that want to win, that you can come back from bad spells and go into good spells again. And then when that happens, usually you go on a dip again. So in modern day football, I think you've got to be winning. You've got to show. Oh, my AirPod just fell out. And I'm not saying you've got to win every game and you've got to be winning trophies straight away. You're laughing at me. But you've got to show that plan. You've got to show that determination to win. And like I just want to say quickly, I completely agree with Jay on the Rodgers point. We've had Ollie for this long now, and we thought he might come in. We thought he might end up having this 3-year plan that he's talked about and going and winning stuff. That isn't going to happen. We've not had a trophy since Jose Mourinho was in charge. I mean, we've not really had good football since Alex Ferguson was in charge. I mean, if we're going to get rid of Ollie now, which I hope we do, I really want to get someone that's going to take us to the next level, an elite manager, not someone, again, who we're worried whether they're going to be good enough. At the end of the day, I know we've not been great for a long time, but we still are Manchester United, and we've got a seriously good squad there that, if it was utilised by the right person, could achieve great things. And like Jay said, I'm not sold on Brendan Rodgers. I feel like he's a good manager. He's a good manager, but Man United, we don't want a good manager. We want a great manager. And I do feel like Brendan Rodgers, in some ways, I feel like he might have reached his ceiling a little bit. I feel like you've seen what Brendan Rodgers is now. Whereas, I mean, I'm not saying. I mean, I've seen a lot on Twitter saying, "Well, Ten Hag hasn't even been in the Premier League. How do you know?" But I would just like to see his style of football go into the Premier League and him to kind of evolve. It's like no one wakes up and is Klopp. You've got to kind of go to the big teams and the big leagues to kind of get that status. But I feel like Brendan Rodgers had his time at Liverpool to do that, and whether it was a slip or not, he didn't achieve it for me. So, I mean, would I complain if he came in? I wouldn't complain, because it'd be definitely a definite improvement on Ollie. Do I think he'd be gone in about 2 years with probably maybe an FA Cup and top 4? Yeah, but I'm not aiming for that. I want to be competing with Liverpool and City. That's what I want.
I mean, this. Sorry, Jordan, mate. Quickly, guys, we're pretty much just about 9,000 in on a Thursday show in the room with us today. So thank you very much. Make sure you hit that like button and get us up to 1,500. We're at 1,000 likes already, guys. Early doors. This is hot topic right now. Quickly before Jordan comes in there, Kev. Giggling like a school kid at the back of the classroom now. I know you're laughing at that comment, mate. Yeah, but on you, mate. And I know there are fans who do think this, mate. Does the ex-Liverpool thing come into it for you at all on this Brendan Rodgers thing, mate? Because I know, we both live in Manchester and we get dogs abuse. We do when it comes to Liverpool United. But is it a case now where we're going to have to accept that we're not the force we once was? And we're actually behind everyone else. We're not setting any benchmarks anymore, mate, are we? We're not top dogs. Let's be honest. I think every United fan has succumbed to that and admits that. But is it a time now where we go, look, Liverpool are actually better. Their blueprint's actually working and ours is failing right now. Maybe we can't look at this as he's an ex-Liverpool manager. We have to look at this, dare I say it, a bit more professionally.
I can't really see past the Liverpool thing, if I'm being totally honest. And I know what will happen, right? Let's just say he does come into Manchester United. The minute he goes through a rocky spell, you know for a fact there'll be United, silly scouts, this and that, and that will get ripped up the past. Now, whether was he successful at Liverpool? Yes. Barring Steven Gerrard slipping on the floor, scurrying around like a rat on the floor, they should have won the league that year. Now, they didn't, and they come very close to it. At Celtic, again, it's very hard to judge. Celtic were dominant at that time, and you do feel that probably even if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had been at Celtic at that time, he probably would have been successful. I think the main thing that Beth touched on then, and if we're looking at a new manager, is the word elite. It's only a couple of weeks ago we've been talking about Conte, Zidane, and where's Brendan Rodgers come from? To me, this kind of stinks of desperation again. And there's no doubt in my mind, as Jay's touched on, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer supposedly gone off for his holiday in Norway with his big IKEA bag over his shoulder. He's been photographed and he's gone. That's not right, that. He's gone to get him away from the firing line. And what's going to happen now is that Manchester United all of a sudden are searching around. And you look at the likes of Aston Villa this week, the way that Farker gets his first win as Norwich manager, gets the bullet. The same at Aston Villa. They both replace managers. They're ambitious. They don't want to go down. They want to stay in the Premier League. And what are Manchester United doing? I mean, we're linked to Brendan Rodgers. He wasn't even in the running last week. Don't tell me that. They have got word that he's attainable because there's a clause in his contract that if a Champions League club comes in, then he's allowed to talk to them and allowed to go. Now, whether it goes through is another thing. But the thing I'm sick of, I don't want this 2-3 year thing again with Brendan Rodgers. I know there's no guarantees in football, but if we're looking more long term and somebody who's got a football brain will come in, rip up things, Ten Hag at Ajax. I know we might not be able to get him now, but even if we have to look to the summer and look to bring him in then, come in, the way the man speaks, man, I've got a slight obsession with him. I've been listening to interviews with him, and we spoke a few weeks ago after they beat Dortmund in the Champions League, and I was absolutely staggered by what he come out with after the game. They just beat Dortmund 4-0 away, and after it, he's coming out, and he's basically saying there's things we didn't do right. I'm going to speak to this player that, and I'm like, is this guy wired up properly? If this was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, 4-0 at Dortmund, we'd never hear the end of it. We more or less, it'd be like, we've won the Champions League. My players were great, this, that, and I get that. But this guy, Ajax, is just different material altogether. And I think if you want to look more long-term, you need to be looking at a manager like that. The way he talks about football, in comparison to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's interesting to listen to. And the likes of Klopp, Guardiola, if United did bring him in, they would be standing up and looking. There'd be none of that pissing about like last Saturday, playing 3 centre-backs against Man City, 7 at the back or whatever it was.
7-2-1.
Proper football philosophy, like.
Yeah,
I genuinely think if... Sorry, go on.
Sorry, go on. No, I was just going to bring up the super chats there, guys. Cheers for all the super chats on point tonight. Even Zane, he's getting a bit scared now because he knows the end is coming close for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So I think he's spending a bit more money tonight. But Zane, as always, mate, we love you. Thanks for joining the show. Beth, go on quickly before I go on to the next bit.
I was just going to say about Ten Hag, obviously you never know until they come into the Premier League, but watching both them games against Dortmund where they beat them both times and the way that team played, bear in mind, they've got players. They had Haller, who was at West Ham last year, who, I mean, when he was at West Ham, he looked like he was not even a footballer, in my opinion. He's gone to Ajax, he's literally been transformed. And I think managers, sometimes it takes them coming to a big club and it's a make or break. And I generally think if he ended up coming to Manchester United with the squad we've got, you could seriously see like maybe one of the next elite managers of the Premier League. I think he's got that kind of pedigree and potential. And people say it's just Ajax. He's beaten Dortmund in the Champions League, who give City a seriously good goal last year. So I think people sometimes have got to get past the fact it's not the Premier League and just look at the style of football. And like Kev said, the way he speaks about football, because you can get a lot from someone just by the way they talk about football. When you look at Ollie, you can tell he doesn't have a clue because he never speaks about it. These guys, they love speaking about it. They come out and they love talking about the tactics. And that's how you can tell sometimes with certain managers.
And that's the thing with Guardiola. Sorry, I was going to say, everyone thinks he's a football revolutionary because of this false number 9 and all that, when in theory it was just because they couldn't get Harry Kane. But it still works for Manchester City. They did a job on us, but I suppose anybody could. But Ten Hag, you listen to him, he plays with 3 false 10s. I'd never heard of this in my life before. And there's a video of him talking through the runs, what the players make and that. And when you watch it, a bit like Ricky breaking it down, when he gives out one of his lessons and you're like, oh yeah, I can see that now. But I think he would be a manager that would certainly, the likes of Klopp and Guardiola would look and stand up and think, this guy means business kind of thing. And we've obviously got Conte now to deal with, if whatever he does at Tottenham as well, really.
Yeah, and he's one there for Jay. Folks, turn on Ireland and Portugal. Ireland press much better than United and are so much more organised. Their manager is Stephen Kenny. I mean, Jay, the title of this video is Solskjaer or Rodgers. I think we're all under the understanding that Solskjaer's time is numbered, mate. Is it a case that for you though, Rodgers is coming and he's in the conversation because there is no one else? Would you wait like Beth and what Kev said there? Because to get someone like Ten Hag, who is the better manager in a lot of people's eyes, you have to see out the rest of the season with Ole or with some form of intern who isn't going to be our best option right now. We don't know. Obviously, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and we don't know what the future is going to bring, Jay. But would you take Solskjaer for the rest of the season knowing you're going to get an elite manager at the end of it? Or would you just say, I can't watch any more of this? And like you said, mate, it does mean possibly that a lot of players are going to be gone for the next manager to work with. And we may not be in the we won't be in the Champions League. I'll say that now, mate. The big
Adam,
sacrifice.
That's a great question. That's a great question. I'm glad you asked it. Solskjaer's gone no matter what. And it's a matter of today, tomorrow, tonight, but I don't think he'll be in situ for the Watford game. I can't see it. The very fact that the narrative of our conversation moved away from Rodgers so fast, is that not indicative that we as a collective don't see Rodgers as the answer? We see him the best pick of a no bunch because we're not picking from nobody. The level is so low that we as a fan base have to settle for a manager that's won a couple of titles in Scotland, that bottled top 4 twice with Leicester, doing a good job with Leicester, and as Beth said, maybe Leicester is Rodgers' level, and that's no disrespect to Leicester. Leicester won the league title. They're a better run club than us, far better run. I would take the Leicester coaching staff, the Leicester director of football, before I take Brendan Rodgers. But clearly it's not on the table. So for me, Rodgers is a no-no. We're not going to get Rodgers an interim and then get Ten Hag in May. But that's not going to happen. So surely the owners of the club, the board, the powers that be, whatever time you want to put in them, should be looking more so to an interim that can come in and stay the ship between now and May, knowing that, listen, we love you to get top 4, but we want you to come in, keep the players somewhat happy, or we're going to be forced with a mass exodus come May. Hence why, and a lot of the fans in the live chat and on Twitter scoffed at it. I said, why could you not go for someone like Joachim Löw, the former World Cup winning manager of Germany, that can come in with gravitas, organizational skills, good communicator, has won the World Cup, will come into the dressing room, take no crap from any of the players, and play his philosophy with his coaching staff, just from now until May, and then go for, and we've all, as a group, would like a Ten Hag. We're not going to get an Nagelsmann. We're not going to get, his name's escapes me now, and I watched so much bloody Spanish football. The Spanish manager,
Enrique.
Jog my memory, lads. We're not going to get Luis Enrique. I don't think Luis Enrique will come to English football. I think he's got his sights set on managing Barcelona personally. I'd like to see an interim manager signed instead of Rodgers. But the club, I think now, literally is panicking and going for Rodgers as the only option. And my fear, guys, I said at the start of the chat, we could be here in 2 years' time again saying that we are only a top 4 club. We go on runs in FA Cups and League Cups and whatever. We might win a League Cup with Rodgers and FA Cup, but that's not my standards. It's not your standards, guys. If you 5 of you watching me here at me, it's not. But that is a standard that the Glazers want. That's all they want, guys. They're not setting
Jordan.
up the club to win trophies.
Jordan, on that, mate, I mean, you're quite pro Rodgers. I mean, if it was a case we did have an opportunity to wait until the summer, I mean, who is there for an interim sort of manager for you? Would you just go all in on the Rodgers one now? Well, we can. Same question again to you on that, Jordan. I mean, would you take Ole to the end of the season if it meant getting the elite manager at the end, or would you just act now because it's got to a stage where we can't watch anymore and we are going to end up going out the bigger competitions?
No, I wouldn't just take Ollie to the end of the summer. To be honest, if it was my decision, I would have let him go after we went out of the Champions League, to be honest. I thought that was appalling management. I gave him to the end of the season because there was a chance, we were fighting at that time at the top of the table and potentially could have won the Europa League. We either. So he should have went then and given a manager a fresh start at the beginning of the summer going into this season. So no, for me, he would go now. The thing of Ollie going on holiday, let's not activated sacking protocol. Send them away with their family away to get them out of the limelight.
Oh, Jordan, you're being sabotaged, mate.
That's an issue, which again just shows.
I feel like I'm on Skype with my grandma or something.
Yeah, Jordan, your internet is being sabotaged, my friend. I'll come back to you on that one. You may want to just double check it again, mate, if you can. We can barely see you, mate. You've got about 4 eyes, so it's quite blurred. I would probably go out and come back in, mate, if you can. Try it again.
All right, I've got.
See this there. Beth, on that, mate, geez. Sorry, Beth. On that, Brendan Rodgers does bring a lot more than what Ollie does, but you were just bigging up Ten Hag there and what he can bring. How could you see it working if we did go for Ten Hag? Because it's like you said, then we have to wait till the end of the season if we've got any chance. Who would be your interim? What would you do from this situation now to make it work?
Well, this is the thing. I've been thinking about it in my head for the last week, and I think Rodgers now or interim then Ten Hag. And I think to myself, do you know what? We've gone so long on this kind of in no man's land, not knowing where we're going. Then if we're going to get a seriously decent manager with a lot of potential at the end of it, then I'd probably rather get their interim now. I don't want Ollie. You can't turn it back around. You need that new manager bounce. You need someone to come in and organise it and sort everyone out, see if you can give us a chance at possibly getting back into the top 4 race. And I think if we move now, then there's definitely a chance that we could get back into the top 4 race with the squad we've got. So interim-wise, I know everyone's been saying this, and I'm not going to lie, I don't know much about him, but I've been looking at him a little bit through the week, watching interviews and stuff like that, just like Kev was saying before, like the way he did about Ten Hag. And Rangnick would be probably my choice to come in as interim manager. I mean, Klopp idolised him. I love the football he plays, despite the fact he is at the Scousers, and I think he's a great manager. And he would come in and he would steady the ship, he would organise them players, and he would actually teach them the basics that we've not had. He knows football inside out, and he would turn that squad into. I think he would get them playing. I really think he would. He doesn't want to come in and be the manager, so he'd be happy to go and step down. He'd come in, he'd sort us out, and as people say, the director of football job, I'd absolutely love that. But the reason why I don't think we will get this manager is, again, our incompetent board. They don't want someone to come in and show them. They don't want that. They don't want someone to come in and show the coaching staff up. They don't want someone to come in and want to be director of football and organise the club and actually turn us into a proper football club that takes no crap, basically. And I just think he would be such the ideal guy to come in now, teach the squad the basics of football that they lack under Ollie. Because God, I was watching back some of that Man City game. They did not. It looked like some of them had never they just put some players on the pitch that haven't played football before. That's how little we had none of the basics there whatsoever. I mean, you hear Kevin De Bruyne coming out saying they didn't even train because of how poor we are. So I think anyone now, and especially a guy who's got this much behind him, this much experience behind him, and got all this knowledge, come in, sort the squad out, is well respected in the football community. You wait till the end of the season. I mean, Ten Hag, people say why people are getting carried away. I'm getting carried away because it's something to be excited about. And this guy plays football. I'd really want to see us play at Old Trafford, and I think he could deliver it with the squad we've got. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't have to spend that much money, really, and I think he could come in and really turn us around and actually start getting us playing attacking football, but in a well worked way. And if I had to wait till the end of the season and get an interim in and be in a bit of limbo just to achieve that, I would, because we've waited long enough now. I don't want to just rush it again, because for me, Brendan Rodgers would be a rush. It really would be rushing into a decision. For me, it feels like, when you're playing like musical chairs and there's the only one left standing, it's one of them for me. So I would get Ralph Rangnick in and then get Ten Hag in at the end of the season. It's quite a stereotypical answer, but I don't see any other better options, and I do think that would work.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, it's like Nick P says there in the super chat. Can we all just remember everyone's down tools? They're still waiting till the summer with Ole. I mean, down in tools, Kev. I mean, that would mean
can I just jump in a sec?
Need someone in. Go on, Jordan.
Just jump in quickly on that. the issue with an interim is the state our squad is in at the moment. And how
this is what I was going to bring up now, actually. Yeah, I mean, how we move on with the way that the squad is and the downing of the tools, which is quite clear.
Yeah, so if we wait to the summer and just give it to somebody that these players feel like isn't really going to be around for much longer, there's no reason to commit.
If they were told the wrong long-term plan, though, then maybe they would want it. Because there should be a long-term plan if you're getting an interim in.
There was a long-term plan with Ollie, wasn't it? And it never happened. So we're only as good as what we're delivering at that moment. You look at Villa and Norwich and that. They're acting for the here and now. They could have left those managers in. You look at Villa as a prime example. He wouldn't have gotten relegated. He just wasn't really going to push on with that team. They could have left him into the summer and made a decision in the summer, but it's not what they want. They've heavily invested over the summer and they want to see an instant return.
Jordan,
they're ambitious.
Jordan, would you trust Brendan Rodgers gets the job tomorrow? Do you think he's going to come in and win stuff with us?
Not necessarily win something maybe this season, but I do think he would win stuff. Yeah.
But look at what Tuchel's coming. I'm not saying everyone has to do a Tuchel, but it doesn't have to take a long time, because if you've got a way of playing and a decent squad, you can implement that style of football quite quickly. And I can't be like,
Bev, how are you?
It is desperation.
You backed Ollie. You backed.
Yeah, I did.
We were saying Ollie should be delivering now, and you were like, "Give him time, Jordan."
Yeah, right. Yeah, but Jordan, you don't understand. It's been a tough year. It's been tough.
Right. Okay,
yes, he's got a point. He's got a point. He has a point. He did that out to help.
Do you know what?
We didn't back him.
There was sentimentality ship there, and I did think he was, because obviously we went from third to second. We were getting finally at Europa League. I mean, I did think we were actually like moving somewhere, but obviously that's completely collapsed now, and I can see that there's absolutely zero hope and zero future. But if you look at the squad we've got, someone should be able to come in and do something with that quite quickly. Do you not think?
On that, actually, I'm going to bring this to you now, Kev, actually, because we're talking, Beth bought in Tuchel there. I mean, before Tuchel blew things up with Chelsea, he was sort of a okay manager, not liked at PSG. They're decent in Germany. Is it all about that fit? Because we're talking like, I think it was Levin who mentioned this on the Sunday show, that everyone's talking about Tuchel being that elite manager now after he's won Champions League with Chelsea. But before he joined Chelsea, was he elite?
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't put him in that bracket like Levin said. It was a good point that Levin made about that, because I think Tuchel's just come in to Chelsea team and it's just one of them things, it fits. Is there any way for you, Kev, that this could be, and on a sort of level, the way Rodgers has come through in the sort of, I would say, as Jay would say, tin pot leagues, coming through at that standard, is there any chance for you that Rodgers could be a fit for United and it takes off? Is there any shout for that at all from what you see? Because we have got a squad there, mate. Is he going to get the respect from them superstars that he's never had to work with? Yeah, Liverpool had one or two, but there's a lot here and there's a lot of egos in this United change room, mate. Could this be the making of someone like Rodgers for you?
The thing is, I think it just comes back to this thing of, like I said earlier, it just stinks of desperation with Brendan Rodgers. And the fact that there was managers available like the likes of Conte, now regardless of whether you wanted him Old Trafford or not, if I compare sort of Conte and Brendan Rodgers, and it is a bit like sort of going into a phone shop and you're after the iPhone 13, but you come out with a Nokia 3310. And that's Brendan Rodgers for me. in comparison to what Conte is. Are you having that one?
That one, mate.
You remember that?
What's ever done to you, Ken?
Oh, we didn't even get to an Ericsson, mate. You just went right in down there, dropped him down 4 leagues.
I cannot see this Brendan Rodgers thing. The more I read about it, I've seen Manchester United fans sort of getting a bit excited about him. I just think he's the only sort of candidate at the minute that's probably attainable. No other top manager is going to leave at this moment in time because they're managing probably top clubs that are in the Champions League. So they're going to want to wait until the end of the season. Who else can you actually go out and bring in now? And that's where I think it comes to Brendan Rodgers. They've obviously got wind.
Hey, Kev, what about that super chat? Would you go down that avenue? Oh, that one hits hard. That one hits even harder.
Not a chance. Not having that one, man, either. Could Brendan Rodgers he will get something out of this squad. My worry is that this squad's been that built up with individual talent, and we've been here before, though, haven't we? I mean, you look, we brought in midfielders the likes of Schweinsteiger, we brought in Di Maria, Falcao. It's just been ongoing big names, all to do with Manchester United, building up the profile of the club, not necessarily players that, wanted to play for the club. Some of them did not want to play for the club. Alexis Sanchez. Too many players have come to Man United and taken the money. And some managers have just sit back and watched that happen. Brendan Rodgers would come in. Would he get the respect of the likes? Again, I said Ronaldo would be a massive problem once you sign him, ego-wise. Would he look at Brendan Rodgers and be inspired and go, this is the man? Would Paul Pogba look and think, I'm not leaving, I'm going to sign a new contract here. Brendan Rodgers has just rocked up at Old Trafford, happy times ahead and all that. You have to look at it from a player's point of view as well. For me, it's just
to be fair with Rodgers, I do think he would. I think he would handle the squad quite well. That's one of the points I do think he would be decent at. He manages the Leicester squad quite well, and he doesn't take any rubbish. I do think he can be quite stern when he wants to be. Like, we've seen him drop Maddison and stuff like that for stuff that he's done outside of football and not being on time and things like that. I mean, these are things that managers should do anyway, but I don't think Ollie would do that if someone rocked up.
No, it wouldn't.
He might get Maguire playing again.
Yeah, that brings us on to the next point, actually. Jay, I'll come to you on this one. It's like Sally says there in the super chat. Are you willing to risk losing a lot of players in January and the summer with Pogba, Donny, Tellez, Lingard, possibly Ronnie, with no Champions League? Could a manager of, say, a Rodgers sort of standing, Ten Hag, he's not been to the top level yet. Could there be a case for their managers looking in going, I'm just going to let Ole implode. Let's see what happens after the mess. And then I'll come in and the expectation may not be as bad because the carnage has been and gone. If a manager comes in now, let's not kid ourselves, mate. The bus is running on 3 wheels. Someone's got to get out on the side of a cliff, jack up that, take a big risk without falling off it himself and get this bus rolling again. And it's no simple task, this, mate. Could you be looking at it as a manager from the outside and going, maybe I'll wait and let this implode and then pick up the pieces when I've got a bit of time in the summer?
Adam, if you're an elite level manager, you're watching that bus now. It's like the final scene from Italian Job when the bus is just hanging on. It's hanging on the precipice of the cliff in Italian Alps. And it's like, oh shit, do we move to the front or the back as we're going over? Who's going to go down first? Look, clearly none of us here are sold on Rodgers because we don't think he has the gravitas or the juice to come into that club and basically kick ass, take names, and deal with the big egos. I don't think he can personally. I want to be wrong, guys. I hope if he gets hired, I think, guys, it's probably about 80% are going to hire him personally. I think it's a very bad kind of unkept secret. The club, let's be fair, guys, the club only drop out on social media to their minion journalists what they want to go into the public realm. Let's be fair. So the club want this story out there because they want to test the reaction of us. They do. That's why it's out there. So I think... Sorry, Brett, go ahead.
I was going to say, I feel like they're much more likely to go for a personality such as a Brendan Rodgers or a Pochettino than somebody
Feel it's
that
safer.
they want a safe option. They want
they do.
basically a better version of Ollie. That's what they want. They don't want anyone that's going to come in and cause
Brendan
conflict.
Rodgers would be that.
They want someone who's come in and feels lucky to have the job, but also is a better manager than Ollie. They don't want anyone that's going to kick up a fuss, that's going to want all these things. And that's why
my read
last year, it's the same old story.
My read of this, Beth, is that they want a more tactically astute manager that can do everything that Ole isn't doing with their squad. That's not going to come in and demand 400 million euro worth of investment.
Yeah.
That will not be truculent and abrasive in press conferences. Hence why we did not get the low-hanging fruit that was Mr. Conte. He was 100%. The choice. He was
Southgate would be perfect.
Oh,
they want another yes man. The Irish Independent, I think about maybe 2 days ago, they did a little article, and it was the best or infamous Brendan Rodgers quotes. And Brendan Rodgers was asked who was his mentor, and Brendan Rodgers answered a la David Brent. My biggest mentor is me, because I've had to study, I've had to learn. Bit of a David Brent-esque. So you think Rodgers in a dressing room can deal with those egos and get the best out of a Paul Pogba when he throws his toys at the pram, a sulky Martial when Martial is running hot and cold. And as you pointed out, Guy, I don't know who said it, what's he going to do with Ronaldo? Is Ronaldo going to be, my prayers are solved, I got Brendan Rodgers now my manager. I've been managed by Zidane. And now I've got Brendan Rodgers. Sorry, guys, I just don't see it.
I do think he'd get given a chance, because these players he'd get given a chance. But I think
Jordan,
if it went bad, it'd go bad quickly.
Yeah, Jordan, come on, mate. Come out. Start swinging, mate. Let's have something back from Rodgers.
Jordan wants Rodgers, I reckon.
No. Do you know what it is? I'm seeing people in the comments be like, let Jordan explain why he's Rodgers in. The question at the beginning, and I answered it first, was Rodgers.
Yeah, you're all late, guys. You're all late. You missed Jordan's statement. Come on.
No, look, but the question was Rodgers or Ollie. It wasn't Rodgers or Ten Hag or Rodgers or Zidane. It was Rodgers or Ollie. I'm taking Fred the Red over Ollie. So I'm going to justify my decision.
You take Beth over Ollie right now.
Even with her FPL form. Yes, I would.
Do you know what? At least I've got a unique style of playing. I don't copy people. That's all I'm saying.
How can I copy?
Shots fired.
Shots fired. Beth, elaborate that point, please,
guys,
Beth. Elaborate.
Come on. This is what Ollie does on his iPad in the games, guys. Let's get back on the serious stuff, eh? Forget this fancy football and Angry Birds crap. Come on.
Yeah,
get on it.
Right. If we were sat and we were discussing top managers in the league, Rodgers would be within this top 4 or 5 managers that we would all sit there and go, these are his qualities, this is what he's achieved, so on and so forth. And I think because we're now potentially looking at him as United, we're now digging holes in him. I think he would go into that dressing room and command respect. Everything that I hear about him from players who've played for him and things I've seen from where else he's gone, he commands respect. That is the kind of character he is. He's got that bite to him. You see him on the touchline snapping at other managers. You see him biting back in interviews of certain questions that are asked and whatnot. I think you've hit the nail on the head. If the club wanted a manager that was going to walk in and command respect with a proven track record, they would have got Conte last week. They don't want that. That is not what they want. So we give that away to Spurs. So we're now looking at what's left. And we need somebody that is going to work within the restrictions that our board place upon him. He buys well. He develops talent. I think he plays youth. He does play youth. I think he would come into that dressing room, and I do think they would give him a chance. I also agree with Beth. If it goes wrong, it would go wrong really quickly. Because they would look at it and go, he's ex-Liverpool, he's this, he's that.
Do you know what I think on this? If I was Rodgers looking in, I would I would hold my court and I would say I'm not coming in until the summer. If I'm Rodgers, I'm looking at it going, I just want this to implode. because, like Beth said, then he's great with the youth. He's not going to get time. He's not going to get a chance with the youth at Manchester United because the demand, if he comes in right now, will be off the scale, and there's that much of a squad to deal with. I actually think in Brendan Rodgers' mind, he's thinking, get me to the end of the season and let this club just fall, and then I can pick up the pieces. That's where I think Rodgers is at with it, personally. I think that would suit him better. Because
that article saying he didn't want to come yet. He wanted to wait till the summer.
I mean, if you've got any sense, like Jay said there, an elite manager would look at this and even they would go, oh, hang on, it's not the right time. And I don't think elite managers like to come into clubs midway through a season. I do
still Manchester United, though.
Yeah, like you said, Kev.
It's a brilliant squad. It is a brilliant squad of players. If you can get a tune out of them, looking from the outside.
You get instant success. You really could get instant success. And like I said, it could actually be the right match. We just don't know. We really don't know.
It is a brilliant squad of players, guys, but it still is dysfunctional, isn't it? It still needs work.
Mate, we'll get into that. 100%. I mean,
you look at
it from top to bottom, Jordan. You might, mate. Sorry, go on, mate. Finish that off.
You look at that Leicester team. If he was to take out and then Didi and maybe one or two other players, which Leicester are known for selling, and he added those to our United side, then we really could step it up a gear and compete. And the other thing we got to remember, guys, is we're sat back going, "Oh, he's only won the FA Cup. Guys, we haven't won a trophy for 3 years.
No, I'm not going to lie.
Million. And people keep talking about long-term success. Long-term success starts with short-term success. So people keep going, oh, well, we want someone to win over 4 or 5 years. Well, let's get it right over 12 or 18 months. And then we can push on. So like, I know we keep, looking, got to remember our board doesn't want anyone that's going to be volatile or too much of a character that they can't manage. So we're restricted from the beginning.
I do think, though, with this whole situation, I think we're all so burnt from what's happened in the past with managers that we just want the next one to come in. You want to be 100% sure. You're never going to be 100% sure in a manager. And let's get this straight. Well, me personally, I don't know about these guys, but if we got Rodgers in, I'd 100% give it a chance, and I wouldn't be annoyed about it. I do think he has some good attributes and good qualities. I 100% do, and I definitely think he's a big step up from Ollie. It's just wanting to, because we've been in this situation for so long, you want to make sure the next manager come in can take that elite level up, and I don't know if he can do that. That's the only issue with it.
Well, you look at it like this: we've done pretty much everything. We've done the one that Ferguson apparently picked in David Moyes, wasn't ready. We then went with the old school winner in Van Gaal. It may have worked, but we got rid of him for goal difference from what I'd seen.
We didn't give him the right money, to be honest.
Yeah, because we went with the serial winner of Jose Mourinho of the modern era, and that didn't work. So then we went with the United way, and the United way is finished. I'll put that to bed, cremated it, done. There is no more United way. So now it's like, right, we've done everything. We've done the old guard, we've done the serial winner, the pragmatic manager, the United way, the feel-good factor, if you want to call that, Ollie. Who is next? That's the one. What type of manager is the one to do it? Because we all agree the squad is there. Does it have to be an interim and the elite manager at the end of the season? Is that what we're saying? Kev, I mean, you bigged up the Ten Hag. You sold everyone on Ten Hag, mate. I mean, it's going to be a very painful rest of the season. But would you take the short-term loss? Jordan said then, short-term gain, short-term game. Would you take the short-term loss for the long-term game, that long-term being in the summer and a new manager for next season?
I understand exactly what's at risk if we had to stay with Solskjaer or if we get an interim.
You're willing to accept it?
I would be. If you could guarantee that Ten Hag would take over in May or whatever in the summer, I'm totally sold on it.
But you're not going to know, mate, if he is or he isn't. Can you take any more of this right now?
I can't take any more of this at the minute, to be honest.
I
don't mean United stand the show. I mean just United in general. From what I've seen over recent weeks, Liverpool, Manchester City, I honestly, I just cannot deal with it anymore. And I've given it 3 years of my life. I've been behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I've come up with, I wouldn't say excuses, but just every reason to back him. And I think me and Beth were in agreement. This is going back probably a year ago.
We've been on the same wavelength, Kev, to be honest.
But didn't we said at the time, we agreed on the reason we didn't want to get rid of Solskjaer. We wanted to see where the journey went, and because we didn't want to hit the reset button where we've got another 2 or 3 years of rebuilding under a different manager. But listen, I think it's run its course. I've been there with David Moyes, supported him for whatever, 8 months or whatever it was, thought it was a wrong appointment, still got behind him. Louis van Gaal, the same. I was a bit left field, this one. Mourinho, I thought we should have really had him to replace Sir Alex Ferguson when he took over. That didn't happen. I think they just got it all the wrong way around. And Solskjaer, of course, club legend, hard not to like him. You fall in love with it. But I would certainly stay clear of this thing now about he's got the United DNA in him. He knows the United way. I think you need a bit of an outsider, somebody that still knows what Manchester United's about, but without all this club connections. You know, I'm friends with Rio Ferdinand, Gary. Now, get away from all that. We need a manager to come in, fresh ideas, and that's why I'm throwing Ten Hag out and I'm putting everything on it.
Right. I'm going to start with you then, Kevin, then go around everyone on the panel. This time next week, Thursday, we will be looking ahead to Watford. Oh, dearie me. Where will we be then? Is anything, Kev? Is anything going to happen between now and next Thursday? Because I think that's when something would have had to have happened. I think if it gets to Thursday, we know Ollie's going to be in charge at Watford because players will start to be coming back. We're on the training ground. Is anything going to happen, in your opinion, Kev, between now and next Thursday, mate? What are you saying?
I'm going to be slightly hypocritical if I said it was, because I did say after the defeat to Manchester City in the fan forum, I said, isn't it great that we've got this international break now? And I thought, let the dust settle, the fire, let everybody get on social media and put Solskjaer out, everybody lose this shit and all that. And do you know what? I do not see... I still see Solskjaer being in charge for Watford. I really do think they will give him till the end of the season. Don't agree with it, but that's what I think.
All right. So Ollie's in charge against Watford, Jay.
Ollie's
do you see anything different, mate? Do you see anything changing?
Oh, Jesus. It's a case of, is it the devil you know better than the devil you don't at this stage? I cannot look at an... Okay, I'm professionally obliged to watch United play games now at this stage, right? I get no joy out of watching us. I haven't got joy out of us watching us in a long time. Can I sit through another 90 minutes of Solskjaer playing with his iPad? No. Do I want Brendan Rodgers? No. So it literally is the rock and hard place. Beth, are you available to manage Saturday against Watford? I'll have you right now.
Do you know what? I can move a few things about. I can be in training tomorrow morning.
But you're available. That's the main thing. Good.
I'm available.
Don't worry about that, Beth, because this club thinks that players who don't play week in, week out in this club deserve a holiday. So there'll be no one there to train anyway. Jay, what did you say then? What was your verdict, mate? Is anything going to happen in this next week?
I think it has to. I actually think it has to. And I think,
you think it
next
will?
Thursday night, I think it will.
Oh, where's 1-1? Beth, what are you saying? Tell me.
You know what? I wish I had this hope, because I feel like there's a few people, like Mark, there's a few people think that Ollie's gonna go, but I just think, why would you not have done it already by now? I just feel like he literally, like Levin said, can survive anything with his
Infinity Stones.
Infinity Stones, that's what it's called. So
yes.
I slipped my mind for a second then. But it's just, I think he will be in charge. Do I want him to be? No. Am I 100% sold on Rodgers? No. Would I probably take anything right now? Yes. Like, it's just, I'm just in such limbo, and I honestly, when you've given up with like your hope. I've just given up, and it's just like, whatever will be, will be. Whatever will be, will be. But I do think he will be in charge, unfortunately, and I don't think it'll change. And I think the only thing I can't wrap my head around is, why on earth would you give him a holiday if he is going to be in charge? Because surely you'd want as much time with the squad as possible to try and turn things around. That's the only thing I can't wrap my head around. That's the only thing that's making me think possibly that this is the week they've been trying to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract or something. But I think he'll still be in charge.
Steve Bruce is available. Give it him till the end of the season. That's what Ted says.
The World Cup's nearly over. He's over there in Dubai watching it. Abu Dhabi, I think. Sorry, isn't it? Yeah. He's chilling, feet up. Jordan, mate, is it happening, pal?
No, not a damn thing. I think the board have absolutely buggered it. if it was going to happen, it would have happened this week of the international break to give the new manager a full 10 plus days to work on things. And I just think it's another thing the board have completely messed up. I don't think it's going to happen, guys. I think we're stuck with Ollie over this Christmas period. Yeah, can't see happening.
Happy holidays, everyone. Happy holidays.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Well,
that was really doom and gloom, wasn't it?
That's 3-1 in favour of jack shit happening in terms of the manager. That doesn't even. I don't even need to vote anymore, do I? That's it. So I actually did think that something was going to happen. Beth touched on it there. Then it's like all the players that have gone don't even get in the team. Why would they go on holiday? Why, knowing that, and we all discussed this before the last international break finished, and we started this again. The 6 games, the Liverpool, Spurs, Leicester, City, the 2 Atalanta games. We were all discussing how important this would be. Why would you even pre-book a holiday knowing that things could go wrong? You wouldn't do that, would you? Surely, even United wouldn't do that.
You're trying to fight for your place. I don't get why you'd go on holiday.
No,
guys,
something seriously wrong with what's happening right now.
A real football club will be taking the players away for a week's training camp, so a week's warm weather training. That's what a real football club will be doing.
But they're all going fishing and whatever, mate. So
yes,
like you said, Kev's even noticed the IKEA bag going out there as well. It's serious when the IKEA bag's out. That's.
I even saw that picture of Eddie Howe. So that video of Eddie Howe doing his training with Newcastle, and I thought, now Newcastle will probably have a better match.
They do. Eddie Howe is levels above Ollie. Come on, levels.
Yeah, I mean, even Steven Gerrard's won something. Oh, so.
Oh my God! Did you see that thing on Twitter about Ollie and all of his coaching staff, like the past track record? I was literally there.
Yeah.
God, I knew.
Oh
yeah.
It
was bad. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, it is bad. Unfortunately, something else that's bad is the end of the show. We have to go, guys, because we've done over an hour already. It's flown by. We've been holding it back all week. No one said anything since Sunday. Hopefully, we're going to hear some more news, the positive sort of nature. And I hate to say that, but that would be a change of manager. And I don't mean to be horrible there, but that is sort of positive for me right now because I know the club are acting, but we will see. There's another week to go. I think something probably does have to happen in the next few days, though, like we said. Otherwise, like Jordan said, he's doing that. Ollie's at the wheel at his decks on the Christmas parties this season, and it's going to carry on rolling through.
Jordan falling asleep.
Perfect timing.
Like he's freezing because I'm
back in the room.
Camera, and I'm fully asleep. On my back.
That's it. It's perfect. All right, guys. Cheers for everyone who was tuned into the show. As always, super chats on point. Everyone's comments brilliant today. Thank you very much. Well over 2,000 likes and 10,000 over in the room. Brilliant viewing tonight, guys. Kev, just want to say cheers as always for coming on, mate. Top content.
Thank you very much. And if for any reason Brendan Rodgers is watching United Stand tonight, I'm sorry I compared you to a Nokia 3310, but somebody in the comment section did actually say that they were very strong, durable, and reliable. So there you go, mate.
There you go. Longevity.
Yeah.
Jay, feet up tonight, done for the night. Cheers for coming on, mate.
Thanks, Adam. Thanks for coming on. And if Brendan Rodgers is watching, or representatives, if you get the job, we will back you. We will support you because things can only get better.
Well said, mate. Beth, Thanks for coming on as always.
What Jay said, and you know what? If Brendan doesn't get the call, I'll be there, and I reckon I can turn it around. So we'll see what'll happen.
That's it. And Jordan, mate, it could be happening. It might not be. But cheers for coming on as always, mate.
Beth, turn your FPL season round, and you might have a chance.
Jesus Christ, are we still going on?
That's it. That's your interview right there. That's your interview right there. Guys.
I'm not even.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries. Give the video a like on the way out, people. As always, share the video and do subscribe to the United Stand. Moving on to the weekend. It's going to be a quiet one for internationals, but there'll be a lot more topics coming out, no doubt. Guys,